Peeps, it's your girl Dash, come back to Funeral Takes. Well, you guys, you already know it's movie news time, and let me just tell you, I posted a picture on my social media, and I was just like, I have a lot to discuss. I have a lot to discuss. I think I have like a good maybe 15, 16 things I want to talk about. I'm going to try to, of course, condense it like I try to do. I don't like to harbor on too much, but again, brain probably will be frazzled by the end of this. This will definitely be some, of course, breaking news. I have some stuff I want to discuss about some upcoming movies that are in production, just kind of giving a little update on those. And there's some new stuff that's getting ready to come out, and a couple of little bits of rants on some things that have been popping off for like the last maybe week or so, where I just can't hold my tongue. So I'm going to save those towards the end. So if you all enjoy the rest of the movie news but don't want to hear my rant, you can leave. You know how it goes. So, but with that said, let's go ahead and just jump into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to get straight to it, has to do with Spider-Man. It has to do with Spider-Man, with Sony and Marvel. Let's just start, because that is definitely some information that just came out a couple of days ago. You already know the tip of this, of course. About a month ago, you know, certain things were happening where we got word, just came out of the blue, that Marvel at the time was not going to be doing any more Spider-Man movies, and of course all hell broke loose. And I was kind of surprised, because that was not the information I was thinking we would be hearing, you know, about. Needless to say, they had been talking, Marvel, Disney, Sony, all coming together at the table trying to work out the numbers. Let's just be real. Like I say, this is a business. It's always about the numbers, the green. And both of them couldn't see eye to eye. So they both kind of, you know, went their separate ways. And, you know, the fans, they not take too, you know, good to that. That's just like, you all really can't come to the table and figure out how this is going to work. Now, I will say this, knowing that Marvel, you know, and Disney, mostly Marvel at the time, honestly, was flipping more of the bill, doing more of the work, truthfully. Sony, being that it's one of theirs, you know, one of their characters, you know, that was where they had the biggest, you know, hold and grapple, and that's probably why they didn't want to budge in regards to the numbers. I think that they wanted, say, more than 50%, whichever. I see why Marvel would want that, especially when they're doing most of the work, honestly, let's be real. But then I can see why Sony wasn't, because it's like, okay, it's my, you know, this is our entity, whatever, you know, we don't. But then, you know, it's just, you know, it doesn't even kale, but almost to the point where from each side, you see why one doesn't want to give more than the other. Well, clearly something definitely happened the last couple of weeks. A lot of people, I know, they were stating that anytime Sony would post anything on social media, people would hit that comment section, you know, bring, you know, makes, you know, put Spider-Man back with, you know, Marvel, put them back with MCU, whichever, and all that, whichever. And I'm thinking, and then also, you know, probably some people getting some, you know, not too happy, you know, in regards to the side of Disney, you know, do this, whatever, and all, why you all want this, why you want this, whatever, and all that. You have all these other things going on, you know, with your, you know, your company, you know, do you really, you know. So in the end, they finally came together with agreement. I'm going to read the statement that Kevin Feige actually put out for verbatim. He says, "I'm thrilled that Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and all of us at Marvel Studios are very excited that we get to keep working on it. Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and audiences around the globe. He also happens to be one of the only heroes with a superpower to cross cinematic universes. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you never know what surprises the future might hold." Let's just be real. We already know in instance what they're doing. Of course, he's going to have a third movie. And then we're hearing that they're also going to do another movie that has, you know, that's separate from Spider-Man's actual story, which is nice. So he has two more movies within them. And I'm starting to hear word that they're finding a way to slowly write him out. I don't know the gist of that, whichever. As more of that information definitely comes out, I'll have to just kind of, you know, come back to this little discussion with that. But we know on the Sony side, they want to have a shared universe. They want a crossover. And I'm feeling like, in the end, honestly, this is a win truly for Sony. They're getting what they want. Because we're hearing what the profits on the next movie, I think, is saying that Disney's going to get 25%. And they're going to take care of, the production cost as well. So right there, yeah, Sony's winning. They're going to come out their pocket for extra, whichever, and all that. So, yeah, you know, they must have held out. Or I don't know if Marvel said, you know what, we've invested this much, whatever, no, let's try to finish this out. Let's go ahead and do, you know, another story, whatever, to kind of finish out the franchise with the 3 actual movies combined. And then another movie, whichever, probably going into possibly past phase 4, whichever, because I'm not sure exactly when that other movie comes. They're claiming the date for the Spider-Man 3 movie will be July 16th, 2021. So that's great. I'm happy. I know fans of Spider-Man are very, very happy. I don't know how they're going to feel if they are planning to write him out eventually down the road once we know exactly when that other movie will fall into line. I want to feel like it might be somewhere definitely after phase 4 going to phase 5, because if his movie is going to be well before the movie for Thor, clearly, because Thor is always later in the year around the November, if I'm not looking at the timeline, just thinking off the top of my head. So, but I'm excited for them because I already know Sony definitely wants to do crossover with other characters. You already know, because I've discussed this off and on for the last 6 months to a year, because we got Venom. We know we're going to get a Venom 2. Of course, it's going to be directed by Andy Serkis. We know Tom, Hardy's going to come back, and Michelle Williams. And then also talking about other things they have potential to come out, which is, of course, I hear, whispers about Silk, Silver Cable, Black Cat, also Kraven the Hunter, and then of course the one I'm waiting for, which is Morbius. I'm just like, I'm here for it. I want to see, I don't mind seeing the standalones, which is mostly a lot of them dealing with some of them being more of, his villains, his antagonists, things of that nature. Now we're hearing word that they're considering doing a movie, and let's just get into it, in regards to Madam Web. Now that's a character I'm not familiar with, so as I go on, as I say so many times, I'm learning as I go, but I am definitely intrigued. So I'm going to get into this one a little bit. The people who are going to be penning this are the writers for the movie Morbius. So I'm intrigued right there in regards to that. So let's get into a little bit of the synopsis for you guys. It states the real name is Cassandra Webb, and it says the character is depicted as an elderly woman connected to a life support system that looks like a spider's web. In terms of her powers, Madam Web is a clairvoyant who's also capable of telepathy and prescience. Now, I definitely am interested in that. When they said the part that says she's connected to a life support system that looks like a spider's web, I was just like, okay, that's very, very interesting. Like I stated, this is one of those ones I'm going to definitely learn as I go, but I'm definitely intrigued with this, whichever. She's considered a character that was a supporting character for Spider-Man during the 80s, from what I recollect, what I've been reading up on. So that right there is something I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm hoping Sony truly definitely knows what they're doing. When this stuff happened with Disney and Marvel, I was wondering, like, okay, what's going on? Because I don't want this to kind of hurt all the other things they have coming out. Definitely with Morbius, because like I said, we don't have nothing. They finished production in May for Morbius. So this doesn't come out, that doesn't come out till next July 2020. So we don't have ways to go with that, but it's a little bit of ways before we'll see anything for it. Maybe at the end of the year we'll probably get some sort of teaser. That will be nice. Whichever, you already know how I feel. I am so ready to see something for that, whatever, because they kept a lot of stuff from the photo sets really under hush with other characters. You saw one or two little bit of photo sets of Jared Leto in his particular character, but I'm looking forward to seeing all the other characters. I know Tyrese Gibson's in this as well. So I am just ready. I'm just ready for some more information about that movie. But in regards to this one, I'm going to keep my tabs on this. Of course, if it's in the beginning stages, we have the writers, so I want to see what they're going to bring to the table with this. But then also hearing how, I know they're excited. I know Tom Holland definitely let him know he's excited about, of course, being with Disney and Marvel still to this time as well. But he's also excited at the possibility of working with Sony, because he would love to do a crossover to work on Venom. He wants to work with Tom Hardy as well. So I was talking to a friend at work, and he let me know how he feels, and he was kind of not very, hiding it so much about the fact that he's just like, what are they going to do in regards to the crossover, because of the way they kind of felt mess up the story. I kind of saw what he was saying, whichever, and he's more of a comic book reader than I am, whichever, so I can only go by what he says because he knows a little bit more than me. I'm hoping with them doing a third installment with his overall story, with his Spider-Man franchise with him, we might get a little bit of understanding whether they might find a way to bring maybe Tom Hardy into this. This is in 2021, so they could probably find a way to write that. Also, bring him over maybe on Venom 2 in some capacity, but then him coming back into the fold when they do a Venom 3. I'm already thinking ahead as if it's going to happen. I feel like it's going to happen. We're going to get a Venom 3. So I'm hoping they can find a way to write a script and fix that, maybe that little error they did in regards to this, because if Sony was really wanting to bring Spider-Man over, whatever, these should have been things that were being worked on, or they should have been thinking about this well ahead in the midst of doing the first Venom. But That's just my, personal opinion about that. I want it to happen. I know some people do want it to happen. It's in the comics. We want it to happen. So let's just, find a way. So, but I'm happy he's gonna stay with Marvel, and Disney for a little while longer. So that'll make a lot of, kids and adults very, very happy. And just to finish up the story now, don't beat me for saying this. I did not see the movie in the theaters. I know think it's getting ready to come out on DVD. I plan to actually buy it, so I will definitely be caught up and I'll be ready. So when they do the third one, this won't be, because my friend already got on me like, you really need to watch the one that just came out this summer. I know it just came out in July, so I'm not that far off. So the way these movies are coming out so early now, they used to be like almost 6 months before the movies on DVD. Now it's like almost less than 3 months now. So even if I don't see it, trust me, it's not that much of a longer wait for me to go see it. So, but yes, you guys, I just want to kind of bring that up. I'm actually excited for that. Yay for all parties. I consider literally a win-win for everybody. So, but moving on now, this I just want to bring up really briefly, because this is something I talked about here and there, whichever and all that, because it plays into what's going on with Fast and Furious. Now, you already know how I felt about how things went down when I heard about them doing Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, because the way of how everything turned out, how it went about coming together, I thought was kind of shady. Some people let it be known more so more than another, meaning like Tyrese letting you know how I felt, individuals a part of it were selfish, things of that nature, plus the situation between The Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson, and Vin Diesel butting heads. I think it was on Fast and Furious 8, whichever, them losing Paul Walker, things of that nature. Well, recently it looks like Vin sent some congratulatory to Dwayne Johnson, of course, doing really well with his his own movie Hobbs and Shaw, and then also because he just recently got married, congratulations to him. And from there he posted something on his Instagram, just saying a couple of things of how he felt, thanking him for being so classy, to wish him well, whichever. And then I just want to note, after that he goes into talking about whichever, just kind of playfully saying to him, I'll be seeing you, Toretto. Now, the reason I say this, just to bring this up really quickly, because this won't be that long, I made a point to bring up, like I said, how that went about putting that together, whichever. Not even feel like he really got, honestly, not to say he needed it, but the blessing of, Vin, when he decided to step out. And then thanks to them doing their movie, they had to push back doing episode, what is it, Fast and Furious 9, and of course eventually doing 10, that's a little bit, a little strain there, whichever. Now, we already know he's in the midst of Vin Diesel working on the 9th installment, whatever, with most of the, the family of the Fast and Furious, excuse me. So it's going to be very interesting when he says, I'll be seeing Toretto, because I made a point to say, he better get in that last and final one, because if he doesn't put him in that one, the shade of it all will speak volumes. And him just saying that doesn't mean he's going to be in it. We don't know if he's going to be in it. That doesn't say anything. Him just, making a little comment like that, throwing that out there, whatever, like just kind of put it out there. Yeah, cool heads prevail with it and all that. People can be, humble themselves and be classy, in the bigger instance when they're, saying what they need to say. Him, being, happy for him, his family, and him doing very well on his own movie, whichever. There's nothing wrong with giving somebody accolades. But my whole thing is, there's nothing saying he has to put him in there, because as Dwayne put it, he says he feels like him and Toretto has unfinished business. I thought in the last movie there was no more business to be had. He was at the end, of course, Toretto was, reunited with his son, courtesy of Jason Statham's character, so I'm thinking to myself, you were with your daughter, you all were, praying over the food, getting ready to eat. What is there to do? I mean, there's no unfinished business. What? You're going to have some type of conversation that's something spanning from maybe one scene from one of the other movies that you felt was unaddressed. I don't know. But we'll have to see if that pans out. I'm just like, I don't foresee anything happening with that. So, again, they're working on 9. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was trying to do them back to back, 9 and 10. So we'll have to see. We do know Charlize Theron's character is back. We know Helen Mirren's character back. And, of course, the rest of the family, of course, that we all know well and love. I'm going to keep my eyes open on this one just to see. It's going to be a couple months before they finish up 9, wrapping on that one to see if they're actually going to that. Now, if we get any word before that, then okay, fine. He decided to go ahead and make a full full circle and bring him in or whatever and all that. You know, even if it's a small part, whatever and all that, we'll have to see, because I know the other person just came on board with the 9 is John Cena. So don't know if he's a villain, he's a good guy, whichever, you know. So that's kind of like a little bit of a change, you know, being that we're used to, you know, Dwayne being in that, whatever, and of course both being that he used to be, you know, doing wrestling, and of course now, you know, venturing more into acting. So, but yeah, I just wanted to say that. So yeah, him throwing that little last sentence in there. I see what you're trying to set up, but okay. So moving on from that. Now, this is one that I'm, of course, as more information comes out, I get more excited. Definitely get more hyped to see this one, and this has to do with DC's The Batman. Now, we already know they are definitely in the midst of, you know, production now. We're getting more information. We do know that Pattinson definitely had a chance to try on the suit, has looked at the script. I'd already talked about previously, about a week or so ago, about 2 weeks ago, about, you know, them looking into, you know, having another character added into the fold. Of course, Catwoman being considered right now. Excited about that. Now we're hearing 2 other characters are being brought into the fray, and that is the Commissioner character, which is being played by Jeffrey Wright, and also the character might be either Penguin, maybe Riddler, played by or being eyed by Jonah Hill. Now, for Jeffrey Wright's character, I'm excited at him being considered for that. He is, you know, talks are in motion right now for him to come on as a commissioner. Now, if you all remember the previous movies, I liked the take by J.K. Simmons, and I also enjoyed when Gary Oldman played the commissioner. So this is a little, you know, a little different, you know, and you know, being, you know, African American, you know, character, you know, him playing the commissioner, nothing wrong with that. It's not a big deal to me either way, but I would love to see that. Of course, you know, Jeffrey Wright's doing his thing. He of course is on the show Westworld, excuse me, and then of course he's going to be a part doing voiceover for Disney Marvel's What Ifs. Definitely looking forward to that. So happy about that. Now, in regards to Jonah Hill being eyed for the Penguin, I'll put it like this. I'm not sure if this person's being vied anymore, but I'd heard, you know, whispers, and I was more excited about the fact of the Penguin being considered if it was played by Josh Gad. I actually like the thought of him playing that. I just see it, you know. Now they're claiming, you know, Jonah Hill's definitely being considered for that, and also throwing out another character, the Riddler. Now, if I consider it, I would think more so Penguin more so than the Riddler, if anything. So we'll have to see how that pans out. There are pictures, of course, floating of him, how he would look in set character. Not too shabby, not too shabby. I will say the person I really enjoyed who played it back in the day, and that was Danny DeVito, excuse me. I don't know where I got that from. Danny DeVito playing in, you know, Batman Returns. Of course, with, you know, Michelle Pfeiffer playing Catwoman. Oh my God, just loved her as Catwoman. I just voiced that a couple weeks ago when I was talking about Catwoman, how much I loved her and Eartha Kitt. Those 2 portrayals were just phenomenal as Catwoman. And of course, Anne Hathaway did an awesome job playing her part when she did The Dark Knight. So knowing that these are different, some other characters coming to full is getting me more excited with the simple fact that they're trying to move things along, and definitely in regards to other individuals coming within the actual movie or being brought in. So, and then also knowing that this particular Batman, like I said, we were all thinking it was going to be Ben Affleck, and of course he's not going to be it. I was bummed by that, but moving on. Now that Robert Pattinson's coming on, come to find out he's, you know, like the character, wanted to play it, now is going to play it. It's just really eerie still to me. I still can't believe he wants to do this after dealing with another franchise. It's really interesting to me, but I'm ready to see him do it, and him playing the younger version. Them saying this particular Batman will be more of kind of like a detective noir style is kind of what I've been keep hearing. So I do know I want to see exactly, because seeing Batman from the earlier years when I was watching him, and him being of course much older, seeing his way of being tactical and things that he's able to know, learn, you know, handle, deal with, whichever, and being that they're saying the word, using the keyword detective, I want to see how he grows into, you know, finding his way to deal with, you know, the crime, you know, in Gotham, how he goes about, you know, doing things, flushing things out, handling certain situations. So that's going to be interesting from them doing it, that aspect, you know. So yeah, I'm here for it. I'm excited. We have a ways away. This comes out June 25th, 2021. So we have well over a year, good year and a half or so to see this. Well, almost close to 2 years, honestly. So I'm here. I'm ready for it. Hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll know for certain which character Jonah Hill will be playing. I feel like Jeffrey Wright is a shoo-in for the commissioner, so I'm not really too much worried about that one. So I just want to know if he's going to pick Penguin or Riddler, which one Matt Reeves see him more deemed to play. So like I state, when I know more, you all will know more. So moving on from that. Now for this one is one of just a little bit of an update. We're still trying to figure out who's going to play Prince Eric, and this has to do with Little Mermaid. It looks like before they had a couple individuals, that have tested recently, with the director. And the two names, I want to note them. The director, Rob Marshall, he's the one that's directing this one. It's the first guy's name is Cameron Cuff, and then the secondary individual, his name is Jonah Hor King. Now, Cameron Cuff I'm familiar with because he's on a show that recently got canceled. It's called Krypton. It's on Sci-Fi. I'm kind of bummed about that. But when I look at both of the guys, when I put up the picture up here, I think Cameron on the left looks more like what I can envision for the character of Prince Eric in this one. So I'm just really glad that we're moving that part along. We have other characters already being played. Of course, Ursula played by, Melissa McCarthy. Awkwafina will be in this. I am excited for just to see this movie. I'm happy for it off the cuff. We already know how some individuals feel. People making groups, complaining, having literally a freak out because a particular character, Ariel, is going to be played by an African-American little girl, and beautiful girl at that, Halle Bailey. And that's not what they envisioned from the animation. So, when you take her off from what they're used to, some people don't like that, don't like too much change, but it is what it is. So Rob Marshall standing by, his decision. It didn't matter to me if she ended up being white, black, whatever. I was going to go see it because one of my favorite animations from Disney is The Little Mermaid. So that I can already tell you, it was a given, whichever. That's why I said sometimes I'm glad I can see so clearly as to not worry about things like this, whichever and all that, because that just let you know. I thought she was going to look, like just similar to animation, so it didn't bother me. Like, oh, I wish they would make her different, whatever. She has to look. I don't care. I just want them to do a very good live action for this movie. So we're going to see. I know Harry Styles was being considered, whatever, but he decided to bow out. Didn't want no part of this. Now, when he's being considered, I will say this. When they considered him, we do know he has a singing background. He's part of One Direction before they broke up. I'm wondering if they're going to have Prince Eric's character sing, because in the animation, he did not sing. So I don't know if that was the case. I know Lin-Manuel is working on some of the music and scores for the upcoming live action, so we'll have to see. I'm down if this person, can hold a tune, with Ariel. That would be beautiful if they're writing, because I heard they are writing new music. So you remember they made that beautiful music with the song Under the Sea. So yeah, we'll have to see. Now production starts early 2020, so that lets me know, and we still don't have a date, you guys. I really wish they would have an idea of telling us when this is going to come out. I don't think it's coming out next year. I feel like it's coming out definitely in 2021, and I'm hoping it's probably maybe early summer, because if it's so late, it's not gonna make money, because there's a lot of stuff that is starting to come out that I'm getting dates for 2021, and they want to get the perfect slot. So I'm hoping maybe late April, early May, so that means before June and July they can get some good money. Look at me trying to figure out a date for them. Hey, figure it out, people, because I will be there. I plan to be there days. I said I don't even care if kids are in there and they're allowed. I'll try to just block it out so I could just enjoy it. So I might not go to an early one, because I have a feeling people will bring the little ones earlier in the day. They can handle them to watch it in peace. So I'm gonna figure out that. So, but with that said, moving on. Now this one, more and more people keep getting added, and this has to do with G.I. Joe's Snake Eyes. Now I'd already talked about Henry Golding playing the lead, of course, Snake Eyes. Already talked about his character Storm Shadow being played by, Andrew Koji. And then we have recently added Iko Uwais playing Hard Master. Now we have an addition to this, and this is in the female persuasion. This has to do with the character played Baroness. Her name will be Ursula Corbera. She is playing that character. I'm actually excited for this, because this is really shaping up to be really interesting of a character. You already know Hasbro is really trying to do their own separate universe for these particular characters, clearly, because from what I heard, they wanted to do a G.I. Joe 3, and of course certain individuals were in those other ones, namely Dwayne Johnson, But we already know how he's feeling. He wants that franchise. He wants that Fast and the Furious, so he'd rather deal with that. Plus, he's doing other movies, whichever. So I'd like to know where he was going to fit this into everything else he's been working on, because I hadn't heard them talk about no G.I. Joe 3 for a long time. I mean, honestly, the last one came out, was it 2013, if I'm not mistaken, and the one before that was 2009. So I mean, what year are we on now? What were they considering doing a third one? But I think they've been waiting and waiting, and every time we turn around, Johnson was doing other movies or whatever, so it kind of got pushed back, and they decided, forget about it, we're not going to even consider worrying about it, we're just going to do standalone films, whichever. You see it clearly, like I was just talking about Sony, everybody's trying to do standalone with certain characters, whatever, that share, with a particular, comic book, character. So this is kind of what they're doing. Hasbro's kind of trying to do their own little niche with this one, and I'm curious and I'm excited to see what she's going to bring to the table. She's considered like a femme fatale of sorts. She's definitely in charge, and I want to note in regards with her, she definitely is a character, kind of works, with, the Cobra Foundation, which is considered the most of the antagonist of it all with G.I. Joe. Plus, she's considered the head of the Cobra Intelligence. And she's also in line and basically is linked to Destro, of course, love interest, of course. So I'm not sure if Destro will be in this. We don't know. I could be out there. We'll have to see. As more time goes on, we're hearing more people being added to the actual movie. I'm here for it. It's shaping up to look really good. I still don't have a date. I really wish they would give us a date for exactly when this is coming out. We keep just hearing it's 2020, so I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed. We'll get something soon. It seems like almost every week I'm telling you all somebody else has been at it. But I'm excited because this casting is really nice. I'm here for it. I was already hyped, for Iko Uwais coming on, playing his part. Of course, Henry Golding, he's, up and coming and just getting more visibility with some of the roles he's picking. So I'm here for it. So I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more familiar with this woman named Ursula Corbero. I'm not inclined with a lot of her work, so we'll have to see. I know Sienna Merrill played Baroness in the G.I. Joe movie, so yes, I'm definitely down to see how that's all going to turn out. So, but moving on from that. Now, this one, definitely excited for it. This has to do with ShangChi and the 10 Rings. Totally here for this. We're hearing that they're getting ready to start filming. Filming will start November 1st. Yes. This is one I've talked about off and on since early this year. I'm excited for this one because I'm not familiar with this particular comic book character. So I'm always loving about learning about a new character, and then building up, my excitement and love to, follow from there on out, whichever. Now, we already know about the casting on this one. Was a Simu Liu is going to be in this. Aquafina is going to be in this, and Tony Leung is going to be in this one. So I'm down for this one. You already know it's being directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. Excited about that as well. This one, I have too much not to really, I just want to kind of just throw out there because I'm just really ready for them to get into this. We don't have too much of a storyline on this one. They're keeping it really tight, but I will say that some stuff kind of got out in regards to getting an understanding of this, and I'm just going to read what they said. Some particular listing it came out from somebody who noticed certain things about it, and they said it describes ShangChi as someone who has developed and unsurpassed skills, and it says in martial arts as he's trained in a China compound closed off to the outside world. So from the reading just that little bit, I'm praying that this kind of ventures into what's considered his origin. I want to learn about his origin story as much as they can possibly give it to us, and I hope they do it justice. And I think Kevin Feige, dealing with Marvel, tries to make sure he implements that when he's talking or doing anything in regards to these characters. Like I said, I enjoyed the origin of Captain America. I know a lot of people didn't particularly care for the first movie where I loved it. A lot of them thought it was slow. I don't want everything to always be about just action. I want some storyline because there's only so much action you're going to give me, and then it's like, that's all, this is it. I was like, yeah, some kicks, this, shoot ups, whatever. But it's like, have something that gives it a little bit of extra condensing of the overall story or whatever. You got to have some sort of storyline, especially if it's something that's going to be considered where you can foresee them doing multiple movies. Like I said, making it into a franchise of sorts. I don't want you just throwing something together and all that and give us all these little power plays, whatever. Like, give me something where I can see all the backstory, and then you can blend in everything else, and give everybody's getting what they want within the movie. Somebody want the action, some people want, the story, some people want both. I like both. So, yes, I'm excited to see, same thing like with Iron Man, a little bit with Thor, whichever. But, yes, I'm here for it. The location for this, I did say it was in Australia. They're also saying this will be in Los Angeles as well. So yes, November 1st, right around the corner. October starts next week, a month out. This comes out February 12th, 2021, a ways away. That gives him plenty of time. We do know the lead, ShangChi, the character he's playing, Simu Liu, is actually already in the midst of preparing, getting himself, in good condition, physically fit. He's already fit, extra fit, and then also he's actually, they said they caught him, some pictures showed snapped of him with some of the comics for ShangChi, just kind of get a little adapted to seeing, exactly what his character, deals with, entails, whichever. So I'm happy to hear he's doing his part. Kudos. I'm looking forward to Awkwafina. She's, like I said, she's in Little Mermaid. She's going to be in Shang-Chi. Just, that broad is busy. I'm loving it. I just think she's awesome. I'm enjoying some of her other work that's come out recently earlier this year. So, yeah. So, other than that, yes, you guys, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I'm looking forward to this. This is one of those ones that definitely comes out a part of Phase 4. So, yes, go ahead, Marvel. I'm glad they're mixing up. Like I said, I'm loving that we're getting a lot of different other types of movies with a little bit more diversity. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, it's long overdue, and I'm kind of glad they're kind of, getting more into the helm of being like somewhat of a leader, of showing, that this is possible and it can be done, and there's nothing wrong with that. So with that said, moving on. Now this one, excited to say that, I was just talking about something is getting ready to start filming, something is finally wrapping up with filming, and it has to do with Quiet Place 2. You already know how I feel about that movie. I enjoyed that movie. I have that on DVD. That was such, I want to say, a sleeper hit of sorts, whichever, of course, at the helm, John Krasinski, his wife, Emily Blunt, him coming in here, his directorial debut, coming out with this type of horror, the storyline being so different, something definitely unique, to the point where the movie was a small budget that surpassed and made over 300 million, and here we are with, a sequel, and as he hinted, this is not your typical horror sequel. So I just had to put that out there because he's been kind of playing with people with the way he phrased that recently in some couple of interviews he's done, recently. I'm excited for this one. He posted a picture from the set, whichever, kind of is hinting to, the finished film, whichever's been wrapped up, whichever, and it shows him and Emily Butt like walking on what looked like to be the bridge. Remember the little synopsis of the scene from the trailer where it shows him on the bridge walking across whatever, and the little boy in the back playing with a toy where there was no batteries, shouldn't have made any noise, and he, of course, put some batteries in it, whichever, and you see what happened from the trailer. That happens, of course, in the movie. So I'm excited for this one. I think the little kids are coming back. Noah Jupe and Millicent Simmons is coming back. And we have two other characters that are going to be introduced, Cillian Murphy. And before there was Brian Tyree Henry, but now it's been switched out. It's Jimanju Hansu will be in this one. And I'm excited to see exactly, like I stated, how the story's going to be told. Is this considered more like a... I thought it was going to be considered a prequel, but he says, this is not your typical sequel. So I'm curious to see if it's going to kind of continue the story of how things ended in the last one. You all saw, showed, them coming to a discovery of how they can, battle these creatures, of course, with the daughter situation with her earpiece, the mother shotgun doing her thing, whichever, and of course, the father, played by John, had to, do himself in to save his kids, such a sad scene. Every time I think about it, it's so sad. But yes, I want to see if it's some continuation of where they left off, or if some time has lapsed and we're going to see, and then when she gets introduced to these other characters, how are they? Are these good guys, where they fall in line, that's what I want to know. Do they know each other? Are these separate situations that they're going to be in, coming into contact with? So yes, I'm here for it. I'm excited. This comes out next year. I didn't note the date, but I do have a date for it. My apologies. I want to say, when did they say this come out? Is this, I think this is either, if not February, I think this is March. It's one of the two of the months, but it's early next year, and I'm here for it. So, but yes, yay, I'm so excited. You just seem like, the other one just came out, but it was a year ago, over a year ago. So it's right around the time where I really am excited to see exactly how this is going to look, because that whole way of them doing the movie was straight genius, the way that thing came out, because I laugh about it every time I talk about it, but I kid you all not. When I went to see this at the theater, it was so freaking quiet in there. It was so quiet. It's like, I don't know, people wanted to even chew their popcorn. They didn't want to miss anything. So, but yes, it was really fun. I enjoyed this movie immensely. So I feel like the second one is going to be just as good, if not better. So looking forward to seeing what John is going to give us and the follow-up to that. So, but moving on from that. Now this one, There's another film that has wrapped up. Getting a lot of movies are coming wrapped up. They're coming out next year, and this has to do with James Bond. You already know how I feel. This is the 25th movie in the overall James Bond franchise, plus the 5th and final for Daniel Craig. I'm sad to see him go, but of course, trust me, he's probably ready to move on. Now, I'm going to post a picture where it shows him, talking at the rap party. He's a little tipsy. He makes that known. He's like a little drunk, and he's just kind of letting everybody know how much he's appreciated from each and every one of them, how they were great, how they put forth the best, one of the best James Bonds ever, and how he's happy that he got to work with them on his last and final movie, whichever. Of course you see the people laughing, clapping, whichever, and he's like, okay, let's get into this cake, do your thing, so I'm just really excited and happy. I'm going to be sad to see him go, because now I keep thinking, who's going to definitely take his place now that this one is done, because I know when they did the first one with him, a lot of people didn't take to him. His overall look is, of course, one of the main things, because let's be real, most of the other ones that have played that character, let's just say, besides being tall, dark, and brooding, they had dark hair. So him coming here, got this blonde hair, very light eyes, whatever, and all that, very chiseled, face, whichever. But he embodied it. He embodied it. That Casino Royale was great. Didn't care too much for Quantum Solace. Love me some Skyfall, Spectrum. So I'm really hoping the 5th and final installment from him is spectacular. The director, Kerry Fakunanga, I hope I'm saying his name right. Excuse me if I didn't. I always get tongue-tied with that one. I hope he does it justice. He has some great work that he's put out, of course, working on the show True Detective, We're City. He has a lot of other work he's done, so I feel like it's in capable hands. The casting, all the different people are coming back. I'm looking forward to it. Ralph Fiennes. Oh my gosh, Naomi Harris has come back. We have Lashana Lynch who's joined the cast. I feel very confident this will be good. I know some people are still kind of, in their feelings because they're claiming she's a new Bond. No, she's not. She's a new 007. I mean, like, really, she's just a new agent. She is not James Bond. So I don't foresee them changing that, whichever, but I love that they're bringing some other individuals into the fold who can hold their own. You get to see them in a little bit more areas of the action aspect, and of course smarts, whichever, similar to, of course, James Bond. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how people just insinuated it when they saw her being, considered, James Bond, whatever. They thought it was actually her playing the new one, whichever. They're trying to get away from what I've been hearing, the way they've always had the stigma of the females in these type of movies, the way they kind of showcase them, and they've been wanting to make those changes for a long time, and that's actually a good thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, Now everything has to be all about eye candy. And I love that we're getting women, like the character played by Naomi Harris, with the smarts, can hold their own. There's nothing wrong, and that's what I want to see. Other characters like, played by when Halle Berry did it, even though she was considered, of course, the bombshell looking beautiful and all, she could hold her own. She's considered an agent. She was doing her thing. So I want to see exactly what Lashana Lynch is going to bring to this fall. I think there are pictures of her, like some sort of, tactical, like, type of suit, whatever, and all that, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what she's going to do. I'm totally here for it. So, and I know it's going to be good. I really feel like this one, the title being No Time to Die, I mean, just the title, it's just, and I'm looking forward to the music. I want to see the music. Who is singing, who's going to be singing the main song for this particular one. Don't know who that is yet, so hopefully we'll get that information soon, since they finally wrapped up. So now they're going to just go back into post-production, whatever, and see what's going on. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm sad to see him go, but hopefully with this time, after this one, they'll take a couple of years off and then figure out whatever and see. I know some people can throw out some names like, Idris Elba. Idris Elba ain't doing that thing. Because when you sign up to do this, and I've said this as well, you're not going to be doing one. We already know, if anything, if you do two, and if they do so well, you're going to do maybe a third. We were lucky to get Daniel to do 5. There's only so many people who've dealt with the James Bond franchise who've done multiple movies like this. So I'm inclined to say whoever does do the next James Bond already should have that in mind and make sure they know what they're signing up to do, because you can tell it's taxing. It takes a toll on you, whatever. That's why Dan was kind of hesitant to do the 5th and final, but I bet you he might have liked the story, and that money was probably real nice. So he probably was like, okay, let me come full circle. The last one did not do good. Let me leave out on a good note with a good last and final Bond. So I'm here for it. And this one comes out April 8th, 2020. So yes, we don't have long to go. I'm happy. I'm hyped. I'm looking forward to seeing that trailer. So come on, bring it. I'm hoping. I want to say, I think by holidays, November or December, we should be getting a teaser or an official trailer at least by January. If not, definitely February, because it'll definitely be 2 months probably before the actual movie comes out. So moving from that. Now this one, I'm tickled beyond belief. The fangirl in me is excited for this one because it wasn't put it out just yet, and this has to do with Candyman. I already talked about this a couple weeks ago, how I'm excited at the fact that, but it wasn't confirmed, even though I brought it up, but I didn't care because I felt like it was probably true, and I should have did that, but that's okay. It is confirmed that Tony Todd will be reprising his signature role as Candyman. So I am elated. I'm excited that he's going to be on board because he made it known, or what he said, nobody had come to him. He would love to be attached to this one. This, of course, being produced by Jordan Peele and is being directed by Nia DaCosta. I'm excited, of course, now that we know he's at the helm. Of course, what is it? Yahya Abdul-Mateen's in this, and we also have Tiana Paris in this, and some other characters. These are the main characters within this movie. A while back, we'd heard Lakeith Stanfield would be in this, but he's no longer in this. I am excited for this. He is considered a horror heavyweight. You remember him? Was it early '90s when he did the reboot of Night of the Living Dead? I love that one. Just other movies, of course, being a part of, like, Final Destination. I mean, just attached to so many different horrors, but this is the one that solidified it for sure, which made him literally a horror icon. During the franchise, when he did this one in the early '90s, then of course he had the other two movies come out. The second one was okay, but that last one really was not like luxury, but just nothing to do with him, honestly, because he could do no wrong. You just do with what you're dealt with in regards to the overall storyline. And I feel like some movies, I don't feel like need a sequel. One can just hold up just fine, especially if it's done very well. And the first one will always be the best one. It's the most chilling and creepy one of all. I'm excited. I will go ahead and just say it. I'm looking forward to them. I know that they're definitely in the midst of getting ready to start production on this, if they have not yet. I'm also excited because next weekend, a week from today, I will be attending Monster Mania, which will be here in Maryland. And I'm looking forward to it because I will be meeting him. That was one of the things that I talked about a couple weeks back. I had said how I, always have wanted to go to a horror con. I normally don't do them. I've done other particular cons, whichever, I have to do some TV shows. But I said, I love me some horror. What the heck is going on with me? Let me rectify that. So I said, let me go ahead and find one. And I was going to start looking for ones for next year, for 2020. Honestly, you guys, I went online and I came across Monster Mania and I saw they had one. And I said, oh my God, it's happening here. Which rarely happens down here in Maryland, like that, so close. And it's not that far from me. And I was like, you know what? I bought that daggone ticket with the quickness. It's going to be many of my favorites there. I'm taking some pictures with a couple of people. I'm not going to say all of them. I'm going to showcase that. But he is one of them that will be there. So I'm excited I get to finally meet him. And I noted that on one of my social medias, and he saw it, and he was really sweet and sent me a message. He was awesome. So I'm really looking forward to it. I will definitely post some of the goings on during the Monster Mania. I'll probably do like a little quick little video on here so you all can see what transpired when I go. But yes, the fangirl in me is going to have to be contained when I'm standing beside him. I really feel like it's going to come out like as if the fangirl, like as you were at a concert with one of your favorite male music groups. You want to scream and act a fool, but you can't because you're a grown ass woman. Excuse my language. Just just saying. But I'll try my best to contain her, but I'm not going to get kicked out. Just put it like that, whatever. Again, I am grown. I should know better. But anyway, but I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to it. I'm really beyond hyped and excited. So, but moving on from that. Now, this one is a couple little things that are coming out for some other stuff that's going to be on the horizon for some new movies. And I wanted to talk about this. This one has to do with something that's coming out from James Wan. I already know how I feel about James Wan. Can't talk about him enough. He's already attached to the movie I'm looking forward to, which is going to be Mortal Kombat. I just talked about that last week. Also, of course, being that he was attached to Saw, he's attached to Insidious franchise, Conjuring, you name it. Of course, he did a hell of a thing on Aquaman. I mean, he can just do no wrong in my eyes. Now, this is something new that's going to be worked on. This is definitely horror affiliated. And the movie is going to be titled Malignant. Now, this is something, the title kind of caught me off guard. I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, okay, what is this about? Now, I did a little bit of research on this, come to find out that he'd written a novel back in 2011 that was titled The Malignant Man. Let me read what it says, because he's not giving anything in regards to a synopsis of what this is actually entailing, but I'm going to utilize this novel as maybe a precursor to what we might be getting. So let's say this. It says, okay, since it was titled Malignant Man, his novel, it says, the story centers on Alan Gates, a terminal cancer patient who makes his peace with his impending death. However, his cancerous tumor reveals itself to actually be a parasite that gives Gates with supernatural abilities, discovering an evil secret society hidden underneath the skin of mankind. Gates takes it upon himself to use his unique powers to stop the Order's malicious plans. He's dealing with a lot of stuff from his previous films and his franchises that's supernatural. Why would I not believe this is partly could be this, whichever? And see, if nobody's really doing a research to check anything he's dealt with in regards to movies in the past, and then come to find out novels, you would not know this. And see, I love when I do my research, because I was just like, yeah, this is very, very interesting. Now, this will be through New Line Cinema, so I'm excited about this. But let me also tell you, he's actually has some cast members who are already attached to the movie. So let me throw out these names as well. We're going to have Annabelle Wallace, who was in X-Men First Class. Jake Abell, familiar with him, he's in The Lovely Bones. George Young from Containment. We have Maddie Hassan, who was in the movie Underdogs. Nicole Brianna White from Encino Man, and then Jacqueline McKenzie from Deep Blue Sea. So these are the people that are going to be supposedly cast in this particular production. So right there, I'm getting excited. I'm a little bit hyped. It doesn't state exactly, but they're looking forward to this possibly something that might be coming out sometime later next year. Now, I don't know exactly, they don't state exactly production from my notes the way I wrote them, so I'll keep my tabs on this more and more with this. I don't know if he's directing this because it does not say. It does look like he's definitely in regards to producing this aspect of this. So when I get more information about this, I'm going to bring this up again. You already know, as I find out a little bit more, I like to just bring it to you. I almost hope he's directing this. That would be nice. But he is busy. He's a busy man. So that would be interesting. And I think he's also writing this with another person. Their name is Ingrid Bisu. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's his girlfriend / I think it might be fiance or whatever, but I could be wrong. But yes, I'm really hoping besides writing, he does direct this and producing this. So keep my tabs on this, but I just want to kind of bring that up to you guys, whichever, because that one does intrigue me. And if it's anything pertaining to that novel he wrote that came out, earlier, 2011, that will be interesting, because I'm really liking how that story is told from that. That just definitely has me intrigued, and I'm totally excited for that. So, but moving from that, now this is another one that is in the beginning production, whichever, we're getting a title, and this one an actual release date, and this has to do with something that Sylvester Stallone is working on. This one is going to be entitled, and it's a thriller. It's called Samaritan. It's getting a fall 2020 release, and I'm kind of intrigued by this one. Now, I'm intrigued also for the fact that the director of this is Julius Avery. He actually directed the movie Overlord. That was a good movie. If any of you all have not seen it, you really need to watch it. That was a really good damn movie. I enjoyed that one. Now, let me read a little bit of what it's stating for a little bit of a synopsis. It doesn't give a lot, but just briefly. It says, Samaritan concerns a young boy who sets out to find a mythical superhero, played by Stallone. It says, who disappeared 20 years earlier after a battle with a supervillain. Now, very brief, quite effective, and understand whichever. So I'm curious to know exactly, supervillain, who's going to be the supervillain. We already know who's going to be the superhero, Stallone's character. I'm definitely getting a comic book base off of this, whichever. I know Stallone normally is not known for doing anything in comic book like whichever, so that's kind of totally something different I'm not used to hearing from him. I love all the movies he's been in because he has a good body of work. I don't know if he wants to branch in this because he kind of sees all these other individuals who kind of taken off, in the comic book land, whatever, maybe like, Hugh Jackman, Robert Downey Jr., just to name a few. That could be, doesn't need, like he needs to, his body work speaks for itself, but this is something different. I'm curious to know exactly in regards to any story we'll get in regards to his past, of if he's disappeared for 20 years, prior to that, what was he doing, where was he at, I want to see backstory, I want to see if anything of a flashback, which I feel like we most likely would get. Who is this young boy? Looking forward to seeing who's going to be cast. I just need to see the rest of the cast for this. This is in the beginning stages, but at least we know we have a director, we know he's in this. Who else will be in this? That will definitely help me to get a better understanding, whichever. From that, now production, I'm fearing clearly they're saying November 2020 will be the release date, but I'm assuming if that's the case, I'm figuring this production is going to be starting very soon because if that's next year, I figure that's most likely what's going to happen. I wonder if they do it like that. Also, will we get maybe something to see during Comic-Con for this one? That's a possibility. That can, because then it comes out. That's always in July, so that will be interesting if that's the case. Yeah, I want to know more. I need to see a little bit more information on this one. But I'm a fan of Stallone's work, so you know I'm open to seeing what else is going to be in this. But like I said, whoever the supervillain is, that will be interesting. So like I said, when I know more, I will definitely let you guys know more. So, but moving on from that one. Now this one, I'm definitely intrigued with this one because this particular actor, he cannot do any wrong. I am a fan of his work. Really since his music, his music days, his rap days, and this has to do with Will Smith. This has to do with him coming on board to do the movie The Council for Netflix. Now, he's going to be playing the character Nicky Barnes. Nicky Barnes, of course, born, raised in New York and Harlem. And he basically, what we're going to learn about him is the lessons of how he got into, the power he got based off of, being in the life of crime. He basically ends up learning stuff, from, Italian American mafia. That's how he ends up learning what he does in regards to his character. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of, how I wrote this stuff, whatever. He ends up serving jail time, and he comes across, a particular crime family guy named Joe Gallo. And from there, he kind of, befriends him or whichever and all that. Over time, of course, Joe Gallo is killed, and this happens, I think, I want to say in the early 70s. From there, he establishes his own African-American, organization called the Council. This is the one where he basically builds his own empire for, heroin trafficking. And that is where it's going to get really interesting. When I found out that Will Smith was doing it, I was like, okay. I love how he always wants to stretch his muscles, in acting. He does a little bit of everything. He loves his action. He loves his drama, definitely his comedy. But every now and then he likes to do certain things that are more like, in regards to certain characters that are considered, want to say icon based, whatever and all that, or true events of sorts, whichever. So this is right up there. That's gonna be really interesting. I really want to see him delve into this bad boy because this one's a really meaty. This is a meaty one, and I can foresee if he's gonna go there with this one, I foresee definitely some awards, for this one coming out. I know they said the character Nicky Barnes, of course, has a family, whichever. So what happens is from there, he is profiled in a New York Times, article. I think it was in late 70s, I think 77, 78. And it caught the eye of the president at the time, Jimmy Carter. And from there, he ends up getting arrested, tried, and of course, he ends up going to jail. Now, from there, he eventually ends up in witness protection. And then from there, things happen where eventually he ends up dying. He dies, I think they said 2012 is when he dies. We didn't know about his death until later on. So it was almost like they kept that part, kind of hidden. Now, I'm looking forward to them doing all the aspects of, of his life from that part. Of course, him born, raised, whatever, him growing up, whatever, how he, ends up, learning certain things, to do what he's doing in regards, because I think his main, when he was doing the heroin trafficking, empire, whatever, his main competition, and I had to note the name, was Frank Lucas, and that was actually played, I remember, by, Denzel Washington in American Gangster. So yes, that's going to be very interesting. We'll see whoever's going to be playing that character, if they showcase that person going up against, them in regards to, who's, influence, in regards to that particular, aspect, dealing with the drugs, Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited for this. I swear Will Smith stays freaking busy. Okay, early this year we have Aladdin. He's already has, what is it, Gemini Man getting ready to come out in a couple weeks. He has Spies in Disguise coming out. Then from there, early next year in January, looking forward to Bad Boys for Life. Then I'd already heard, and I talked about this months ago, how he's supposed to be working on the movie has to do with Serena Venus's father, which is called, King Richard. Then we have him talking about doing Bright 2, but they've pushed that back. So I'm thinking somewhere between doing this one, The Council, and King Richard, that means that he's going to do one of these before he does Bright 2. Will, he's a force to be reckoned with, but I ain't mad at that. That man's work ethic is just on par. But and he's always having fun. I don't know if you all follow him, but he is hysterical. As much as he works, he plays hard just as much, and I love it. And I just love him, and I just love his family. They are awesome. I just love just seeing how, even though he works, it doesn't overtake him, and him having that downtime and doing stuff with his family and just living his life, whichever. And he's living it. He's living, as they say, his best life. So I really want to see this. I'm looking forward to seeing who else will be cast. Definitely want to see, of course, playing his wife. Definitely want to see who's going to be playing Joe Gallo. I want to see who's going to be playing Frank Lucas. All the main characters within this. I want to see who might be playing the president. Jimmy Carter. That'll be interesting. So yes, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead and try to get that Oscar. Nothing you can possibly do with that. Might be the one that might do that, so we'll have to see. But moving on from that, now this one I'm excited for and I'm tickled as well, and this has to do with Jurassic World. This is for the next upcoming movie coming out, because we're going to get a blast from the past 3 times over. We have some cast coming back, and the movie that started it all was Jurassic Park back in 1993, which stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. But it looks like we're going to get to see them again, reminiscing again about these characters. I'm excited to know they're going to be on for the 3rd installment of Jurassic World. That makes me beyond hyped to hear that news. Jurassic Park, I remember when it first came out, it did freaking creep me out. The way the dinosaurs, everything looks so real. Technology was just, it's surpassed it now, but back then, that technology, when Spielberg put that out, it was phenomenal, because it really did freak me out. And just the overall premise of the movie, like, oh my God, they have a place that's supposed to be some sort of, showcase of all these creatures that I've heard and read over the years as a kid in school, whatever. They could, recreate these things, whichever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was just unbelievable. And then just seeing the characters, Samuel's character not, feeling this should have never been done, not feeling this is a good thing, whichever. And then certain things happening, which proved his point. Love the banter and the sarcasm, just the overall character, of Jeff Goldblum playing, just hilarious. So I'm really looking forward to this. Now I know that they said this way the story was delved from Jurassic World 1 and 2 is one of the reasons why they're bringing back definitely the characters played by Sam Neill and Laura Dern. We already saw Jeff Goldblum briefly in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. You all remember the scene where he's talking in front of, certain individuals about, how this could play a part with him and all, and was serious at it when he was talking about it, because you remember, he came back for the second one, but then they didn't come back, and they came back for the third, yes. So I'm kind of glad that they're going to be able to find a way to tie them. We don't know in what capacity as of yet in regards to their storyline, but hopefully they'll kind of give a little bit more emphasis. I know they had a short film that it kind of really delved into that, so I didn't see that. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in the next one. Now this one is said it's dated for June 11, 2021. So I am ready. I'm here for it. I haven't seen Samuel or anything as of recently. Definitely Laura Dern and definitely Jeff Goldblum. So I'm just looking forward to seeing them, all 3 of them together, showcasing and doing what they do best. And I feel like Samuel's character is still going to be like, I'm not here for this. Should have never made this. This is not good. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We have, like I said, a ways away. That's well off. So it gives them time to definitely make sure it's good. And I feel like with them being in this one's going to make a lot of money. I'm going to want to watch the first one again just to watch it. Knowing me, I might watch all of them just to watch this one, But I'm glad they're going to be in this. No offense, but, even though he's in them, and I'm talking about Chris Pratt, whatever and all that, that's not had me all excited to see the last one that came out, whichever. But, it is what it is. It's all about trying to, making him some sort of, action star or whatever, what they're trying to do with him besides doing Guardians of the Galaxy. I like him in that one, but this one doesn't do so much for me. It is what it is. But knowing that these 3 individuals will be in it will make me more excited to actually go see it, whichever. Because I was considering just wait for it to come out on DVD, the 3rd, one. So, but now you got my money. I'll be in the theater. So with that said, moving on. Now this is where I'm kind of winding down a little bit, and this is going to be mostly the rant part. And this has to do with a couple of things in regards to the reboot stuff. Now, I was just chatting with my buddy Jay, and he was just letting me know in the comment section how he feels when he's not feeling it. Now, I've just been talking about just in general over the course of maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and every now and then I would vent a little bit about how all of a sudden these reboots, like what's going on? Why does it seem like, we have so many things that they could be actually making this original storyline, like being from, say, for instance, novels or actual writers who wants, to, put something in fruition, but then they always feel like the safe bet is always take something that's already been made and then try to reboot it, whichever, instead of trying to, hey, use that brain and get the right person to direct whatever and bring the vision from something that's an original screenplay, script, whatever, and put it out there. So you have certain movies like, of course, I say It, but It honestly was not a reboot. That was a TV miniseries that was made into a movie. Let me clarify myself with that part. Now, I just talked about last week, maybe 2 weeks or whichever, in regards to them doing a reboot of course, The Craft. Not too happy about it. It is what it is. I love the original, and as I say it all the time, with a lot of these originals, they hold up just fine. I will also say this before I get into a complete rant about these two particular ones, just in case somebody comes in here, whichever. If I don't like it and I don't want to see it, I won't go see it. That's the one thing with me. When I say I'm like not really feeling it, 9 times out of 10, that'll let you know off the top I'm not. Now, I will say this. Sometimes if they do have a trailer, I might watch the first one and see if it's something about it that intrigues me enough to say, okay, I can give it the benefit, whatever. But if I really like the original, I'm not even going to bother, whichever. I'm not going to waste anybody's time watching me do a trailer that I really don't want to watch, because then it's going to show on my face. I'm not going to do fake. I don't do fake. You will never see a fake reaction, whatever. You're going to get my face however, whatever it is, but I'm not going to just post anything just for the simple fact of posting it. Now, the reboot for this one, I'm just telling you off the cuff, I'm not feeling. They're getting ready to consider doing is New Jack City. Now, I was not happy when I heard about this, and this was like maybe a week ago they were talking about this, whichever, and there was some other stuff going on. That's probably why I didn't get to it. I said I would just bring up reboot maybe on the next movie news, whichever. So here we are. This movie came out back in 1991. I love this movie. Directed by Mario Van Peebles. Let's go into it. Nino Brown, Wesley Snipes. Just, oh my God, he played the hell out of this role to the point I could not stand his character. He made me freaking sick, but he played it. He did a damn good job. Of course, Scotty, played by Ice-T, coming in here doing his thing as a detective, trying to get Nino, whichever. You have characters like Judd Nelson. You have characters like, Chris Rock playing Pookie. I mean, of course, Vanessa Williams was in this. Alan Payne was in this. I mean, the cast was phenomenal. And just the thought of them making a reboot, I'm just like, really? I just don't know how to feel about that. I can't say it enough. Just take a breath aside, just like sit on that. Yeah. Well, let me just kind of go into, the individual who's going to be attached to this, who wants to actually write this. Doesn't know if they're going to be acting this or directing this, but the writer who wants to actually do this, his name is Malcolm Mays, and he's an actor as well. He's actually plays a character in the show on FX called Snowfall. So I'm familiar with that. So I'm like, okay. Secondly, he kind of says he has a little take on, this aspect, whatever, and all that, because of a real life connection with a gangster. So let me read what he says. He says, and they talk about his uncle's name is Stanley Tookie Williams. He said he was a founder of an American gang known as the Crips in South Central Los Angeles. After being convicted of 4 counts of murder in '79, Tookie Williams received a death sentence and was ultimately executed over 25 years later, back in 2005. So he's going to probably take his maybe life's history, whichever, for certain things that happened then, whatever, and all that, and probably find a way to write this. I'm curious as to how the storyline will be. If he's, that is, this stuff right here that's true stories going on right there, true events. So if he uses certain aspects, whatever, of that, culminating with a little bit of the story, maybe from New York City, so to speak, doesn't have to do so far, because that stuff in New York City is not that far off as well. What will also have to play a part will be who's going to play these particular signature characters. That's going to be it, because when I foresee definitely the Nino Brown's character, this person is going to have to be just on a whole nother level to bring it, because the way it was done by Wesley was just like, it's damn near perfection. So I'm going to be sizing it up. I'm going to be judging. I'm going to be judging it from everybody's cast. I'm curious to know who's going to be directing it as well. That definitely is key as well. the cast and the director. Him being a part of it and writing it, okay, nothing wrong with that. Director and cast definitely needs to be on point. But I'm going to wait and see the trailer to see and do this. I'm trying my best not to be so biased that I can't have an open mind to at least watch the trailer. Like I said, that's what I said when the crap comes. I'm going to see how the girls look in this actual trailer to see how I feel, whichever, and all that, and just kind of take it from there to see, like, okay, I might give this a chance, and I might go see this in the theater, whichever. I can still have a soft spot for the original, and I will. You know, my love is strong for New Jack City, so yes, I will keep tabs on this one. Now, this is one right here that I'm really not sure how I feel about this, and being that it's one particular person's attached to this, I'm just like, really? This has to do with the reboot of Set It Off. Two of my favorites too. Now, right here, the person who's attached to this and is going to be producing this is Issa Rae. Now, if you all should definitely know who she is. Some people might not remember her from, you know, she is attached to, produces, stars, executive produces whatever the show Insecure that comes on HBO. That is a fabulous show. I watch it every year. It comes on for every season. She's doing phenomenal work. She also was in the movie I saw over the summer titled Little with Regina Hall. And Marseille Martin, excuse me. That was a funny movie, very good. She's definitely good in her comedy. She's definitely good in her acting in regards to drama as well. This one definitely will be more on the drama, the more suspense side. Now, the two writers who are going to be helping her to pen this, let me get their names out, is Sarita Singleton. She actually is writes for Black Monday, which Regina Hall is on. And then also Nina Gloucester. She actually writes for the show Star on Fox. So we'll have to see from there, because it looks like Issa says she will be producing it and is possibly eyeing a part. I kept thinking, who could she play? I want to foresee her possibly playing either the character played by Jada Pinkett Smith or the character played by Vivica Fox. Now, this is the thing I talked to about to one of my friends at work when I was hearing about this. I said, who's gonna play my character, my girl, Queen Latifah's character? Because that one right there, at times, is a scene stealer. I'm like, who is going to play her character? I'm visualizing the casting that they need to get on this bad boy, and it has to be right. I just don't know. And also, who is going to direct this as well? Now, Gary Gray did a phenomenal job with Set It Off. That thing was so freaking good. I remember, I mean, of course, this is to do with four ladies, you know, just dealing with everyday life, you know, dealing with, you know, low wage type of jobs, whichever, you know, and just wanting certain things, you know, dealing with their, you know, communities, neighborhoods, whatever, and all that, and decided to take it, you know, possibly do a series of robberies, whichever, you know, end up, you know, making out well with a little bit, you know, in the midst of those, but then things basically take a turn for the worse, and then it's like, you know, it's up for grabs for, you know, will they be able to get away with this? Of course, I know Blair Underwood was in the movie as well. Dr. Dre was in it as well. It's going to be really interesting to see who they're going to cast in this. I am here to see the possibility of seeing this movie. If she gets the casting right and the director, I will consider it. But I'm going to tell you, I love the original. I love the original. That cast on the original was awesome. Jada Pinkett Smith, like I said, Queen Latifah, Vivica Fox, and Kimberly Elise. I love that movie. So that's some big shoes to fill with this reboot. And I'm going to say this, she already knows, and I know Issa has to know. It's like, yeah, people are going to be watching. Who are you casting? You know, who's going to do it? And by God, it better be good. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It better be good, because I will straight up judge the hell out of it. And I plan to, if I go see it, because I will be literally sizing up a little critiquing whatever. And yes, I will. Everybody stays critiquing stuff online, anything and everything. So yeah, I'll be a statistic when it comes to this particular one and the New Jack City one. Hearing possibly them wanting to do, like I stated before, a reboot to Princess Bride. Like, what the hell? Like, no. It's like, I will tell you, there's some other movies that I love that I hope I never see. Oop, a fly. Sorry, y'all. Something flying here. My reflex. What is it? A couple of my favorites from back, you know, like, you know, 80s movies. Like, I don't want them to ever make Weird Science over. Please don't make The Breakfast Club over. Reboot. Don't dare touch Pretty in Pink. You know, don't touch 16 Candles. Just don't. Just don't. When they tried to do Dirty Dancing, that was like really? What the hell are you all thinking? So, I'm just not here for it. And I'm just like, please don't. Oh my goodness. It just, every time I turn around, every week it's like something about another reboot. It's just like, and of course, I just don't know what to think. It's just almost like I have no words. Which one is it? Who is it? I have no words for it. So you all comment below for sure on that one, because I would love to know how you all feel about this resurgence, like extensive resurgence with reboots all of a sudden. It's just like literally out of control. It's like a reboot, buffet going on lately. I can't keep up. It's just unreal. So, but yes, besides that, one last thing I want to discuss, and this has to do just with movies coming out this week, and this has to do with Joker. Now, I'm looking forward to, you already know how I feel. I am here for it. I'm excited. And then also, it's kind of getting a little backlash because, of course, the overall storyline of it, him going through what he's going through, certain things happening to him, whichever. And of course, some people thinking, of course, he shouldn't be, pitied, whatever, because of what he's overall ends up doing, whichever, after whatever is the catalyst that causes the shift, with his character. And I have to remind myself, first and foremost, this is based off a comic. Let's just get that out there first. Secondly, just the things that are being stated where, certain places don't want to show the movie. Understandably. I know in Aurora, Colorado, for certain, I understand after what happened when the movie The Dark Knight came out. Definitely was such a sad ordeal. Just so sad. And rest in peace to, the people, the individuals lost, whichever. Just a heinous, crime. It's going to be very interesting because I see it like this. You had somebody who did it, an interview with Joaquin Phoenix, and made a comment about this to the point where I think he walked out of the interview, and eventually, calmness prevailed. He did come back, and they're like, do you feel like your movie is inciting violence? And I'm thinking, okay, is inciting violence. All I can think of to myself is when questions like that are asked, we're dealing with violence right now on a daily basis. If you're not living under a rock and you're watching the news and reading the papers, which I do, both, why do you think it takes a movie? Because most of them, when it comes to some of the things that are happening, you find out it has nothing to do with a movie that's been made or why they went out and did what they did. I know they want to blame, like I said before, the video games or whatever, certain movies come out. These things are happening. We have movies that come out every year that have violence in them. And most of the time when these heinous things happen, it's nothing to do with that. I know we would love to have that as be the main reason and the main catalyst for these happening, but it's not. And I hate that has to be the way they have to define to not deal with the real issues. But it's like, just like, stop. Just don't. That's a cop out, and it's not even a good one at that. So, and after this movie comes out, I'm not even psychic, but I seriously doubt all these other heinous, crimes that are happening with these shootings. It's not going to stop. We know where the change truly needs to happen, and it should be happening down there on Pennsylvania Avenue. And we'll have to see exactly if that's going to come to fruition, whichever. Hopefully soon. Hopefully, if my prayers are answered. I seriously hope that is the case. But for right now, all I say is individuals who want to see it, just don't go see it. I'm going to see this movie. I'm probably going to see it multiple times. And also, I can go see a movie and not feel like, I think individuals, majority will go see a movie, whatever, and don't have these certain thoughts and mindsets, whatever, to go out here and do something to an individual for no reason at all. I think the consensus is mostly overall, we can't enjoy a movie with all that without doing, I can't speak for everyone, but yes. And I just hope that a lot of people don't use this as, as a deterrent not to go see the movie, whichever. I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, many more movies after Joker are going to come out that have action. I feel for the one movie, and I cannot remember the name. I'm going to post a poster that has been put on the back shelves, whatever. But that one had definitely some violence in it, but then it had more of a precursor because it was more of a political aspect of it, whichever. But besides that, yes, I mean, it is what it is. I will say this. I'm going to read what Todd Phillips says, and I'm going to wrap this baby up. It says, okay, because he was recently said in a recent statement, Todd Phillips, the director, I think the Aurora is obviously a horrible, horrible situation, but even that is not something you blame on the movie. Quite frankly, if you do your own research about Aurora, that gentleman wasn't even going in as the Joker. That was misreported. His hair was dyed red, and he was having obviously a mental breakdown. There's something horrifying about that, but if it wasn't related to it outside of the fact that it happened as a movie theater, this is not the thing that the movie is trying to represent. The movie still takes place in a fictional world. It can have real world implications, opinions, but it's a fictional character in a fictional world that's been around for 80 years. The one thing that bugs me more in this toxic, white male thing when you go, oh, I just saw John Wick 3. He's a white male who kills 300 people and everybody's laughing and hooting and hollering. Why does this movie get held to different standards? It honestly doesn't make sense. And I will say, I know somebody made a comment about, well, he's basically, his kills are centered around assassins. Killing is killing. I'm just like, whichever, because everybody just seemed, a lot of them were hyped to see it, whichever. I love me some John Wick. I saw all three. But like I said, that had inciting violence, and there was some graphic and gory violence in that. So yes, it's like, don't hold certain movies at a standard, whatever, especially if it's inciting violence or showing violence, whichever, in whatever capacity. I don't care what the storyline is. It's still considered violence. So yes, and I kind of see his point, and I definitely agree with that, whichever. But like I said, some places are not going to want to show it, and that's fine. Some people probably go somewhere else and all that. And it is what it is. But like I said, you go in there, you have some common sense, you're enjoying the movie. Like I said, it's based off of a daggone comic book. I'm like, really? Definitely, like you said, certain aspects, he said, of course, fits and ties in to, certain things, whichever. But in the end, I remember exactly what I'm watching, and I know the difference between the two. So I just hope that it does very well its first weekend out. I will be one of those ones who will be contributing to that. And hopefully, again, maybe a weekend later or a couple of weeks later, whichever, before they snag that bad boy out the theater. So, but again, with that said, you guys, I am done. Comment below. Let me know what you all think. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next movie news. You guys take care.